Jason Enos, hi!
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And Konami has unveiled finally the playable version of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. First of all, what can be told about this year's edition of this presentation?
Well, if you're a Metal Gear fan, you'll instantly notice some critical changes to what you may be familiar with. There's really 3 new elements to the game. New gameplay, so for example, introducing camouflage and having to hunt for food, as well as close quarters combat. There's a new setting, which is the jungle. So this is actually an outdoor environment, whereas MGS1 and MGS2 were mostly indoor. And finally, there's a new era, which is the 1960s during the Cold War era between the United States and Russia.
Okay, let's look at each of these specificities. First of all, the camouflage is very important in this game.
Yes, exactly. Because you're in an outdoor environment, and if you think about it, the jungle is an unpredictable environment. You know, in MGS1 or MGS2, you know, you could kind of rely on hard walls, lockers, desks. These things were conveniently placed for you to hide from the enemy. But in a jungle, it doesn't work like that. One moment you might be next to a tree, the next moment you might be in a wide open field with no coverage, the next moment you might be in a stream. So in order to blend in with the environment and avoid detection, camouflage becomes a critical aspect to the game. You're going to have various camouflage patterns, which, depending on how you are standing or sitting or laying down, and the color of your camouflage relative to the environment, you're going to blend in or become less noticeable, which makes it harder for the enemy to see you.
We're going to hunt also, because Snake must eat.
Right. So if you're in the jungle, if you're a real soldier thrown into the jungle, you know, you don't just walk up to a restaurant and get food. And also, like in MGS2, you know, you'd conveniently find rations, you know, located throughout the plant. Well, it doesn't work in the jungle. You gotta hunt and find your food. So you're gonna have snakes, spiders, fruit, bees, fish, even alligators, although I've never eaten one, but you know, I guess they taste good. But Snake will actually gain an appetite for these various items, and if he happens to eat something that's poisonous, it'll actually reduce his health.
But it's no fishing game here. It's all about close quarter battles also.
Yes, so another new element in the gameplay category is what we're calling close quarters combat. That's completely new for the series. You may remember in MGS1 or MGS2, you could sort of sneak up behind an enemy, grab them by the neck, and either choke them, break their neck, or make them go unconscious. But now, you can go up behind an enemy, grab them, threaten them with the gun or the knife, and maybe they'll give you some critical information that you might need to achieve the objective. Or you can use them as a shield. So if the enemy is attacking you, some other enemies, you grab another enemy, hold him in front of you, and then the bullets are hitting him instead of you.
And finally, why the 60s?
The 1960s is a great backdrop for the Metal Gear franchise. Fans of the series will always know that this game has really always been about a nuclear-capable walking machine that can launch a nuclear strike on another country. If you ever take a brief history lesson, the 1960s Cold War was primarily about the United States being very, very concerned about the capability that Russia had for launching a nuclear strike on U.S. soil. So, in the game, the United States selects their premium top operative to go into Russia territory, infiltrate, and discover to what extent has Russia developed a nuclear weapon. And at the same time, the 1960s is really the height and the peak of spy and espionage tactics. Back then, if you were caught as a spy, you could be found guilty of treason. Nowadays, if you're a spy, everyone's like, oh, he's a spy. Oh, that's cool. You know, it's cool to be a spy now. Back then, it was like you lose your life if you're found that you're a spy. And so this is just a really great time period, and it really sets the whole game as far as being a very organic, Metal Gear being out in the jungle. The weapons are a lot more low-tech than they were in, say, the modern-day MGS1 or MGS2. You can't fire Nikita missiles from your hand. You pretty much have guns and ammo. And it's really up to the skill of the player, rather than the weapon, to be lethal.
Thank you very much, Jason.
Thank you. It's going to be a great game this fall.